And I know.
You are live.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Today, we're really pleased to introduce you to our next sponsor, which is Michelle from Mint by Michelle, all the way from Australia. It's 7 p.m. over there now. So she stayed up late for us.
I had to have a nap beforehand.
And that
so I could cope.
I
did actually have a nap today because I went out last night. I'm not used to going out. So it's
a nana. Oh, I was wondering what that was, a nana nap. Yeah.
Nana nap. Yes, nana nap. Otherwise known as a disco nap.
I like nana naps. I had one yesterday.
Yeah.
Are you a nana, Michelle?
Am I a nana? Oh, stop that, Sarah. No. No.
I am.
No. Oh, what?
Yeah, I am.
You're a nana?
Yeah, I've got a grandson. He's 7.
Oh my God. No. Oh my God. No, my kids, I've got 2 kids. They're 13 and nearly 16. If I became a nana at this point, I might not be too happy.
No.
So, no.
Yeah, mine's Stevie's 27. She might be 28 this year.
Oh my God. I would never have picked that.
I've had loads of plastic surgery.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, so she's 28 and I've got an 18-year-old, 19 in June, and my youngest is 16. No, 16.
Okay. Yeah.
Mine are 30 and 32. But Tony did have the conversation with them about when they were younger about we don't want to be grandparents yet. But I think it might have worked a bit too well, you know.
And now you don't have any. I'm hoping I got at least, I should get at least 15 years more, I think. Yeah, definitely. 30, 31-ish, something like that.
Yeah, you're saying that now because they're still in the house and they still need you and it's, you know, but when they're gone and there's nothing to do and you think, no, it's going to be great. I'm going to go yoga and it don't happen. You just
sit there.
30 years worth of training of, looking after another human being. You then need another human being. So it
would be really hard. I have actually thought about it. I can imagine how hard it would be because I did used to think when it was harder with them because I'm a sole parent. And so when they were younger, it was obviously much harder. But as they've got, and so I used to think, it'd be quite nice, I think, when they get older and they leave, so I get to relax. But now they're at this age where they're actually very easy and really good company. And I think I'll really miss them. I'm already aware of that.
Yes.
And the youngest is only 13, but I'm already okay,
Michelle,
I better start getting a life.
Tell you, they come back. They come
back. Oh, well, that's not bad. That's all right.
Yeah, but
hopefully I'll still like them at that point.
Yeah. They came back for lots.
Yeah, no, Stevie won't come back. I would love her to go. She came back for 10 minutes when she had the baby, and so I had them all at home for a little while. That was lovely. And then there's no way. Or else could burn down. I'm telling you, she won't come back here. And Lily's like, Mum, shall I get a flat? And I'm like, why? Why would you want to leave? It's horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
It's so easy here. Why would you want to leave? And she was like, well, and she said to me not long ago, actually, Mum, why don't you charge me rent? All my friends pay rent. And I said, well,
I charge rent.
Yeah, well, we're in a position where
I think that's fair.
Oh, yeah, and I would, but she's really sensible with her money and she works really hard. She's got a savings account. She bought her own car, and so if she was maybe not quite sensible, I would.
Yeah.
So she feels deprived because I'm not charging her rent.
That's fine.
That's a good job. You've done a good job there, I think. That's the case.
So can you let us know a little bit about, for the people that are watching that don't know, how did you start your business? How did that evolve?
Well, actually, I started as a furniture artist. So I don't think I called myself a furniture artist at the time, but I started just redoing furniture. So like most people in this industry, I started in my garage, and that was about probably almost exactly 6 years ago now. And I was in my garage and very quickly started doing commission work and just flipping furniture basically, and Then I had so much work so quickly that I moved into a workshop and I started doing workshops and started teaching people how to do it, and then kind of cut to 2 years later, I moved to another premises, which was like massive. It was about 5 times the size. And
Wow.
that kind of freed me up to be able to start stocking things and selling. And once I started doing that, then I'd already been thinking, I really want to do this and sell that and produce that and whatever. But, I just felt like for me, particularly, as I said, I was a solo parent. So I kind of really had to do a step at a time. I
Yeah.
couldn't go in there, with, $500,000 and sort to inject into whatever I was going to do. I kind of had to work and get that and then work and get that. And so step, step, step. And then Mint by Michelle, like as it's known now, with the products, etc., really came to be probably about 2.5 years ago. And that was, I released the decoupage papers first, then the transfers, and then the paint, and here we are.
And so why did you start with decoupage papers? Did you feel there was a gap? And was this before lockdown or during?
This is actually right at the start. So right at the start of lockdown. And so I'd had them in my vision to do. And then, so I had my printer and stuff. I had everything kind of ready to go. And then lockdown happened. And I thought, I think this is the perfect time actually to release. And so I released then, and it was, as it turned out, a really, really good time to do it because everyone was at home. And we couldn't have known then how long it was going to go for, but it turned out, for me in terms of the business, it went all right. So,
and I think although people feel bad about that, there were certain businesses, not just ours, but ours for sure. There were certain businesses during lockdown that thrived.
Correct.
It was difficult.
Yeah, I think our whole industry did pretty well
Yeah.
out of it. And like you say, you kind of feel a little bit bad, but you can't be sorry for it. But we did sort of thrive. But I mean, having said that, now the world's opened up again, and we're having issues now. Do you know what I mean? Because of that, and other things or what have you. But why did I do the decoupage papers first? I did those because definitely there was a gap in the market that I recognised, and I was doing that kind of work anyway. So I was already probably known for my work with decoupage, and so it probably was not a far stretch for me to release those, I think.
Yeah.
Was the process of doing that difficult when you decided, actually, I think I would like to bring out some decoupage papers? Was that,
Look, it wasn't really, because honestly, I'd been working with this printer of mine for it was probably 3 years at that point, and I had already spent that 3 years trialing different papers and trialing A, B, and C, and how do we do that. I'd already done that for my own work, and I used to already print at that larger scale. I, did all of that stuff myself. So I knew definitely there was nobody then who was creating decoupage papers for furniture artists or for this industry, larger scale. It was very much the small scale kind of craft ones that used to just be adopted, do you know what I mean, into our industry. So no, it wasn't kind of a stretch because I already had everything sort of in place because I was doing it anyway. And then it was just, packaging and things, but that, all those things have had a bit of an evolution over the time, like, the packaging. So I've certainly lived and learned with things. You go, oh, release this, and then, oh no, I better do this and I better do that. You know what I mean? So, but the initial release probably wasn't quite as complicated. I think what did maybe, I knew there was a gap, like I said, but it probably did even take me by surprise a little bit, just how impactful it would be, I think. Yeah, I think I was a bit surprised.
And so to start off with, Australia that you were selling the products, or when did you go sort of international?
Look, it was almost straight away, to be honest. So I was selling internationally, you're probably from the start, but then I think I had only been going maybe a month or 6 weeks when I had my first person contact me from overseas to ask about distributing
Wow.
overseas. And so it was really quick. And I think by the time kind of, 5 or 6 months later, I think I had distributors all over the world. And, it was it was like a whirlwind romance,
Yeah.
like it was crazy,
So what
crazy.
kind of distribute,
Pardon?
where are these products available? What countries are you in?
Oh, okay. So we've got a distributor in the UK, so they're available in the UK and Ireland and Scotland, etc. And we've got a distributor in Europe who distributes throughout the whole of Europe. We've got another agent, so she also distributes in Italy, but we've also got another agent in Italy. We've got a distributor in Greece. We've got a distributor in Canada and two in the US. I
Wow.
distribute for Australia and New Zealand and any kind of other country. So we've got like one stockist in South Africa. We've got a couple in Asia, but we don't have distribution. Things were really complicated, like in South Africa and stuff during COVID, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. So you picked the best time in terms of demand, but probably the worst time in
yeah.
terms of practicality of actually getting this done.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. So the shipping was a bit of a nightmare. It has been a bit of the bane of my existence. For some
Yeah.
of those places, like, even places like Russia, for example, trying to get product in there has been an absolute nightmare. Like it's just near impossible to
Yeah.
do. And yeah, the same as South Africa. Like I remember the first order we ever got for South Africa, and we had to park it and sit it up waiting until that country started receiving
Goods again.
freight. Yeah, and it honestly was about 8 months. I think it sat there for like 8 months till we could even ship it. So yeah,
That's
crazy.
a learning curve really quickly then. I think
Yeah, really quickly. Yeah.
it's lovely because it really, that's one of the things we're trying to do with people is if we can tell them about other people's stories, it's to inspire them.
Mm.
Look, she just did that from
Yeah.
started off small garage, and who knows what possibilities are out there. That's kind of
Yeah, I think obviously like anything's possible. I don't think you need to go in, I think the problem maybe is sometimes that people think you need to start at the top, or you need to go in like you're a really big business or something. But
yeah,
actually, for me, I mean, I don't know for everyone, I can only speak for myself, but I think particularly as when you're learning as you go, it's definitely better to, start small and kind of incrementally,
yeah,
increase, your product line and, because
but
yeah,
it's,
there's so much to learn.
yeah.
So
You don't have it.
there's a lot.
You've got to learn and fix and sort problems out as they arise, haven't
Mm,
you? Life, isn't it?
exactly.
I think
Yeah.
nearly everybody that we've got there like yourself, is an example of just doing the big scary thing, taking that leap of faith,
Yeah,
trying
Mm.
it out. And I just think or lots of people are afraid of failing when in
yeah,
fact, usually failing is when you learn the most. You don't
yeah,
learn anything.
Oh, totally. You can't you can't win if you're not prepared to lose. Like there's no question about that. If you're not prepared to put yourself out there and potentially fall flat on your face or make a mistake or look silly, God forbid, or whatever it is, if you're not prepared to do those things, you can't ever succeed. It's just 100% you can't succeed if you don't
yeah,
try. That's it.
Yeah.
So and I just have I maybe it's not that I don't feel the fear. Everybody feels the fear, but I feel the fear and think, well, I'll do it anyway. Or
Yeah.
maybe sometimes it actually spurs me on. The more fear I feel, I think the more important it is. And and
that's
see how we go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But
That's fine too. I don't care. That's
no,
fine.
but you do learn from the things that doesn't work.
Oh,
You think, "Right,
Definitely.
that probably didn't work because of X, Y, or Z. I won't do that again, or I'll try it this way next time."
Exactly.
I'll fail, I think, at some stuff.
Yeah. I think you just have to be prepared to analyze what's happened and say, okay, well, why didn't that work? Well, it
Yeah.
didn't work because, 1, 2, 3, and you have to be prepared to change, change what you're doing or what direction you're going in, or, who you're working with, or whatever it is,
Yeah. I mean,
and
for us, some of us, they're just
Mm.
nervous just to come and spend the weekend with us, So there's just
mm,
that barrier. But trying to not persuade them, it's not the right word, but try to encourage them. Just coming and spending the weekend with us is the first step sometimes on that journey, whatever that journey might
mm,
be. So
mm,
for them to hear your story and people like you, I think
Yeah.
it's
I think
great.
when we went to ours, which is the reason why we're doing this one,
Yeah,
was hearing those inspirational stories, meeting you, realizing, do you know what? You're just a normal human being. I could probably do that too if I wanted to. That
yeah,
yeah,
that that really spurred me on. There was at the first one we went to, there was a couple of people. One of them was a blogger that I read for years, and there was other women there killing it, doing certain things in their business.
mm.
Meeting them and realizing, do you know what? It's just a bit of hard work. Do you know what I mean? It just made me think, okay, all right, so stuff is possible.
and the world's your
So possible. I think I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago. We were finally able to hold a stockist weekend. So after 2 years of not being able to travel and not being able to do all those kind of things, we could finally hold one, and people could travel down to us. And that's one of the things that I spoke about, is to say, here you are kind of meeting me. And I know sometimes in this industry, when you're behind a screen, or you're just a person doing a live, or you're those things that people, it's like 2022 TV. And so people kind of look at you sometimes, not like you're not a person, but I know I meet people sometimes and they're kind of fangirling a little bit, or something, like I would have been with, if I'd met Annie Sloan, or if I'd met, like whoever it would have been, you kind of fangirl a little bit. And a couple of my stockers said that to me, and I've tried to make a real point of saying, you've met me now, and I am just a normal human being, like you're a normal human being. I'm just some chick who started in the garage too, and who
yeah,
decided to do A, B, and C, and just decided
Mm.
not to be scared to fail. And anybody can do that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Anyone can do that. So,
Fear is not.
um,
I love that expression.
Well,
Fear
sorry,
is,
what's
Kate.
that?
that expression. Fear is not the boss of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good
Helena
one.
Karen said hello.
We've actually got at work, we've got these, I've got a whole wall that's full of people, writing things, like really
Oh,
positive kind of things and stuff. And up the top is mine. And it's like huge when you walk out of the place. So, you see it up the top of the frame there. And anyway, and it says fortune favors the brave. And I think
oh,
that's, I always think that. Like every time I get scared, genuinely, because I do, I think I'll
yeah,
think about that. Fortune favors the brave. Give it a go. Like, what are you going to lose? Money?
yeah,
I
yeah. Maybe it should
don't
say
know.
fortune favors the brave and the stupid, because maybe we
That's
need.
right. Exactly.
But
Exactly. Or the other thing, the other thing people worry about, I think, is not being liked. I think that's another problem.
yeah,
Particularly maybe women worry about that, not being
that,
liked.
well, that's
So,
actually quite huge, isn't it? Because there's also they're
mm,
always think this industry is amazing for supporting each other, but it also can be
mm,
a bit well. And I think it's just because we're
yeah,
women. 99% of this
yeah,
industry. Sorry, Nick.
mm,
99% of this industry is women, really and truly.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Nick. So, yeah, Nick will be there.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Next one.
Helena
Yeah.
Karen says hello from Greece. She's on holiday at the moment, so she's watching us from Greece.
Oh, shut up, Helena. We didn't really need to know you were in Greece.
Oh, is she? Hello, Helena. I love Helena.
Her work's
She sent
lovely.
me, I had the nicest introduction to Helena once she started following my page, and then that Christmas she sent me a present, and the present was this
What?
a pin. She had home sewn this pin, like a prize, and you pinned it onto your thing, and it said, I can't say the word, but it said starts with a C. What? that had that on the front. That was her introduction to me. I got that in the mail from this Helena. You know,
She,
That's
I
brilliant.
wore it with pride. Thank you.
Michelle, did
So-
you know? Like,
Helena said she's on by the pool.
oh,
What?
shut
Oh, nice.
You
Very
don't
nice.
want. But last year she came on stage on the back of a donkey. Was it Sarah? A horse?
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, a blow up one. It was hilarious. I still got it.
Oh,
So
nice.
get
Nice.
out. But, she's
She's
great.
hilarious.
Yeah, but very talented, very creative. She's a very creative.
Oh, yeah, very, very. And so personable, you know.
Yeah. She's just
Yeah.
the same. She's just lovely. So we were last year where we held the conference was a Christian conference centre, and we were a little bit nervous at how they would receive us, but it was all absolutely fine. The nuns would, beat us to the bar every night, and Helena, another Irish girl, made really good friends with them. It was so funny. It was so funny because they were Irish nuns that were doing work in London. But yeah. So
I just feel like there's no one she doesn't make friends with.
No.
exactly.
Helena.
I knew her for 5 minutes, and she's talked me into being on the board of her. Like not.
That's fantastic.
That's
So somebody has just commented. I don't know who it is because it says Facebook user, but they are doing IBM, which is called in-bed marketing.
In-bed marketing. That's brilliant. You can claim that, I'm sure.
I love that. Yeah.
I do that all the time. No.
Way. So what's your inspiration for your work? Where do you get the ideas from? And are they original works, or are they copyright free? What do you do?
No, so I generally speaking, some of them belong to me. So some of them are artworks that belong to me, and other ones we do have some things coming up that I can't really talk about, but then we've got some things coming up.
Will it be released in time for the event?
Yes.
Well,
yes. They'll be. I can say when they'll be released. They'll be released in about 4 weeks.
Right.
So I will be able to start sort of talking about them soon.
Right.
But they're really exciting. So yeah, some are original things that I own, and some are the rest of them. I don't have any that are copyright free. The rest of them I pay a particular copyright for, and but really my inspiration is I just choose things that I really love, and I've really try to blank out the rest of the world when I'm choosing the images, which is actually harder than you might think. Like it's very difficult to do. But I try to remember why it kind of hit the nail on the head the first time and the second time, and that was because it actually they were things that I loved and it was my vision. So I need to try to remember that and go, right, I need to stick with that. And they don't all land as well as each other, and that's absolutely fine as well. So
I think that I find that really hard because like what you like doesn't necessarily mean that's what everyone likes, or what you think might be the best image. Yeah, that's really difficult.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's hard not to be influenced. Really hard not to be influenced by what other people like or what other people are doing, or
it's got to be a fine line, I suppose, because you've got to serve your customers and their wants. So if the trends are changing, I suppose you have to acknowledge that a little bit, but also keep it true to what you want it to be.
Yeah, correct. So it has to be, I think it has to be kind of recognizably mint, for example. And so I just know, like someone asked me the other day, are you going to be doing like a grungy kind of, what's that?
Steampunk.
Like who?
Steampunk?
Yeah. Steampunk. Are you going to do steampunk stuff? And I said, no, I'm not doing it. I said, because, there are other people that in the industry who are doing that and they do that really well. And that's not who we are. So I'm not, it's not that I don't like it, but it's just not our vibe. So we'll let them do what they're good at and we'll do what we're good at. And And I think, we've got a different aesthetic, and you need to
Have an
you know,
identity. Can't be
yeah,
everything.
it's
Can't
so important. You can't be everything. You can't. And I know a lot of people try to be everything, and I think that's sometimes the undoing
Yeah.
when you lose sight of,
What you
what your brand is.
and it
Yeah.
dilutes,
So,
doesn't it? Yeah,
mm,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's so interesting. So then you've got the. But why did you go from decoupage papers? Why did you bring out transfers? What's the benefit of having?
So obviously, it was twofold. So I did that as a collaboration. So one was to do a collaboration, but two was kind of just to start sort of dipping my toe into other things, and I knew that I always had the paint in mind, and that the paint that's where we were kind of headed.
That
But
goal?
I wanted to expand a little bit first outside of the decoupage market to see, I probably had things to learn. I think I realized I still had things to learn. I
Mm.
go, okay, well, I need to go this way before I get to paint, because paint's huge. Like, once you dip your toe in the paint,
Yeah.
it's it's live or let die. It's that kind of industry. So
How's
you
it
best be prepared.
received over? So have we got the paint over here? I don't think we have yet, have we?
No, so this is no, so this is another thing that I'm kind of working really slowly towards that. It's really different to the decoupage, which is so easy to ship, and it's, all those kind of things. The paint is very different, and the paint also, so we try to have everything manufactured here. So the decoupage papers are manufactured here, and manufacturing in Australia is very expensive, and that, partly is because the quality is amazing, and do you know what I mean? But manufacturing is expensive. So I knew that the paints were going to take a little bit longer. So at the moment, we're working towards dis- distribution overseas, and probably the first distribution point will probably be the UK. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping we're we're fairly close, I think, at this point. Fairly
Will
close.
will
Yeah.
we be able to get will we be able to see the
Yeah.
paints at the event?
Oh, definitely, definitely. So Nick, when he comes, he'll be painting with them and doing the decoupage and stuff as well. So
That's
he's got them, and so he uses them over there.
Right.
Um,
Tell us
yeah. So he'll.
what. Tell us about the paint. What is it made from? Why did you go that?
So it's a mineral paint. The range is relatively small at the moment, so it's 22 colors. Again, I don't want to go in like an idiot, so I want to go in and start small, and I think you have to feel your way through, what's going on. So we started with 22 colors, but I tried really hard to get what I thought were the absolute essential colors across the board, and I
Right.
think we did do that. So we got, the right brights and the right neutrals and the right blues, and those types of things. Um, so I think the palette is really good, and the paint is really good, but the paint is evolving a little bit as well. And again, I think having that time, that it was really essentially only here, was really important for me to be able to iron out any issues, because that's always going to be the case when you've got a new product. Um, but you don't want to bang out paint to the rest of the world and there be something wrong, or you
Mm.
get one go pretty much. So
Yeah.
So
it
is
better
it
be right.
so by mineral paint, do you mean it's a self-sealing paint? It's
Hmm.
not a chalk paint or
Yeah, so it's acrylic based, self-sealing, self-leveling, all of those things. It's got a pretty good open time for an acrylic based paint, so it can be blended pretty well, and um, it's a very, very nice paint, I think. I think it's a
Well,
very
we
nice paint.
really need to make sure there's some there so that we can all try it, because that's the whole point.
Oh, you'll definitely get some. So I'll ship some over to Helen. Oh, I've just seen Helena say that she loves the bright, vibrant colours. Thank you, Helena. Actually, yeah, Helena's used them before.
Right. Okay.
Um, so I sent her some when they came out. We sent a few around, obviously, to see what people thought, and we had some really good feedback, and we're probably we're nearly 6 months in, maybe 5 or 6 months in now, and, yeah, the feedback is, feedback's been invaluable. That's
Christine,
another thing, you know,
Christine
yeah,
Cow
you need to be
from She Paints said it sounds like a delicious paint.
oh, thank you, Kristen. Thank you. So yeah, it'll be there at the thing. I wish I was gonna be there. The only thing that's
I
not gonna be there is me.
know. Your birthday
Oh,
and
well.
you're in Bali, aren't you?
Yes, for my 50th.
Yeah,
So,
I think I want Bali to come to the UK.
yeah, that's right. And look, it's actually a bit of an event, so it's not just like me and the kids, like it's a lot of my family and my friends and are all gonna be there, and we're all staying at the same resort, and it should be amazing. And I think your conference starts on the last day of the holiday,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was all too complicated to change. So, but, you know, in my stead, I don't think anyone's gonna miss me because, number 1, we've got Helen from Just Like Home Interiors, who is our, distributor over in the UK. So she's going to be manning the stall and doing all that stuff. She'll be the go-to person. She's amazing.
Yeah,
And then of course Nick from Rocky Crystal Interiors.
Yeah.
He's our ambassador in the UK, and he will be doing the demo. Well, he'll be on the stall as well for the weekend. So he's staying for the weekend, and he will then be doing the demonstration for the 25 minutes. I think it is.
Yeah.
He'll be
Looking
doing that. Mm. And he's fabulous.
yeah,
And I think, I think everyone will love him.
yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
he'll,
Yeah.
he'll be one of only maybe 2 or 3 men in the whole place.
Yeah, so he'll be him and Jonathan, and is that
Yeah.
it?
No,
Yeah.
we've got an attendee that came last year, so he'll be there.
Carl.
Tony will be there, which is Kate's husband.
Yeah.
Okay. So a few husbands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, I think there is a couple of guests who are bringing their husband, but I think they're sending them off for the day to
Yeah.
do this.
Okay.
It's
I
a
don't
Yeah.
bit.
think, yeah.
Mm.
And might need a boys' club for them or something.
Yeah,
Little
something.
corner where they can smoke cigars and drink whiskey.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I think this will be did Nick do the oh what's that thing you guys have? Uh
What thing? What thing?
oh he did something or other with Jonathan once before.
Oh, okay.
Uh a demonstration thing. But this is only this will be his second time doing something like this. He's
Cool.
excited anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He's very
mm.
well, isn't he? He's very out there too. So
he's
yeah.
He's out there and he does great work, and he's so prolific. Like he bangs them out. He just works and works and works, that guy. He does great reels, and great with the videos. He's like the young cool dude. I don't know how young he is actually, though. I should ask him. I've never asked him how young he is. I don't know. Mm.
and,
Yeah.
and he lives in the UK or he's in Europe?
Yeah, he's in the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
admin in Furniture Painters Unite, so you do see him around
Mm.
things.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people know of him at least. So, and his work. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Interesting.
That's going to be some fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
Oh,
some fun.
Solly Joe's there, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Solly
Solly
Joe
Joe.
who was doing the in-bed marketing.
Oh,
Oh, is that Solly Joe?
He
Okay.
definitely needs to, trademark that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really need to try your paint, and I love your paper so much. So I'm not sure who that is. It says
Oh, I
Facebook.
don't know who that is. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no.
you. You have to tell him to go to the event.
Come to
So
the
they can
event.
try the paint.
I will,
Just go to the event.
I will type in the website so they can go get their tickets.
Ham, is it nearly booked out? Like, I'll share this on my page afterwards, and
Oh,
spruik the.
it's a huge conference space, so we've definitely got
Mm,
room. So it's
yeah.
fine. We're organising at the minute, booking people into bedrooms and getting their dietary requirements. I'm just going to work on that week. So, but yeah,
And we had last year we were absolutely booked out really early, and we had a very high-profile brand say to us, we would like to come along for the day to see if it's something we'd like to be involved in next year.
Okay.
We couldn't even give them a day ticket. And
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
we had to send Kate's husband home for one day to let one guest come in. We were absolutely
Really?
That was like that.
this year we've got
That's
way,
impressive.
yeah, we got way too much room this year, so that does not happen.
Yeah.
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 I mean, look, you guys have done amazing. So that was amazing last year as the first event to be so incredibly popular. I think that tells you something about the industry and how much people want to feel the community and want to come together and learn, I
Yeah.
think.
And
Yeah.
we're talking about it Friday on our live actually, but it wasn't so much I think for the attendees, it wasn't so much about being taught how to suck eggs because they all know how to do these things. It was more
Yeah.
to do with new to them products. So they've seen yours on the market, or
Mm.
this one or that one, but they haven't tried them. And I think stepping outside your box for a little while. So it's not that we're teaching you
Yeah.
how to, because that's not the case. It was just giving everybody the opportunity to get their hands on products that they know about, but they probably haven't used.
Yeah. And try and
Mm.
experiment and talk to other people. And yeah, there was
Yeah.
lots of tears and lots of laughter all weekend. But yeah, I think everybody, it's a, it's just one weekend, but you get to try all these different paints and look at all these different brands and touch and feel like decoupage papers and see how
Mm.
it furniture, that type of thing. It's important.
They went home.
Yeah, and things like decoupage, I think for people who haven't used them before
Yeah.
can be a little bit intimidating sometimes. Like I know people have said that definitely, that they're scared they're gonna muck it up or it's
Yeah.
very hard to muck ours up, I'm just saying. They're very good. But people can be intimidated and so no, I think it's the perfect opportunity for people to be able to, here's a free one and stick it on and try it, and this is how you do it, and
All
just
the
to give you
attendees
confidence.
after went home with a goodie bag, which was
Yeah.
Mm,
almost the same price as the ticket by the time they went home. It was
that's
amazing.
amazing.
Really generous.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
And
Jen.
And you've gone all out this year, and you're pulling out the big guns. You've
yeah,
you're pulling in old Brandy over there, and
yeah.
Yeah, that's so much fun,
yeah,
isn't it? So excited to
yeah.
come.
And we're gonna go
Mm.
meet her. We're gonna get a chance to meet her first because we're going to Florida in June. So we're gonna have
Oh, for the
girls
yeah,
meet up first before she comes over to the UK. But yeah,
Yeah.
really
yeah,
excited.
nice.
And Chris Dorner, I can't wait to meet Chris Dorner. She's
Yeah.
so
So
I
we're
mean,
doing,
she feels like a kindred spirit.
isn't it, Sarah? We're doing what we tell people to do. So we're going to Florida and we're going to go to that event. Who knows what will come out of that? But it's just so good to meet other people and
Mm.
try different things. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be stopping.
That sounds a great event, actually. I mean, I shouldn't pump them up too much. But is that the Daydream Apothecary? Is that event?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
And like try the paint out and
yeah.
be
I've
like,
actually got the paints. I've tried the paint.
yeah, I
So
want to
they
try.
they sent me some paint to try, and vice versa. Actually, I sent them some paint to try.
That's great, isn't it?
Um,
I love all kind of like kind of
Yeah.
all see and
oh, it's
yeah,
really nice, and
yeah,
they are particularly nice.
they are.
Like, yeah.
They
So
are.
I kind
So
of do some a bit looser kind of painting. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm quite happy. I want to go in there and literally get my hands dirty and have a play about. I won't just
yeah.
do it sitting in my workshop. I won't get that in and have that creativity. But if I go somewhere like that for 2 days where I can just get messy with paint, what you
Yeah,
come out of that. But yeah, I'm excited.
and such a nice environment to do it in.
Oh,
Really
it's
nice.
gonna be awful, isn't
Yeah.
it? So
It
in
is
June.
Oh, so
terrible.
awful.
Terrible.
So awful.
We're staying a little while.
It is hard. It is hard for us sometimes because we are what they call it, the tyranny of distance over here, and it is a little bit like that. Like we're so far away from everybody, and not just that, like, but because of the the COVID over the last couple of years, and
Lockdown. Your
our
lockdown.
borders and our borders things are so strict, and so no one can, not no one, but it's hard to get in. There are requirements to getting in and getting out, and so
Yeah.
it's a bit tricky for us
Yeah.
play in the world.
So when are you going to do a similar event in Australia? And we can go.
Oh, well, it's funny you say that because actually, just on the cusp of, I think it was the last weekend before we went into our first lockdown here for COVID. So 2 and a bit years ago, however long ago it was, I actually held what I called a masterclass, and I had all of the best painters, or who I considered the best painters in Australia, come down for that. And that was a whole weekend, and that was absolutely brilliant. And loved that. And I actually am working on, I'm probably letting this slip too, whatever, I don't care. So
Oh,
I'm
boss,
working on another event with Jane from Plain Jane Paints, who is just releasing her own paint line, actually, literally this coming week. And so she and I are putting on an event in October, end of October.
Oh, this
But
year.
again, we can't. International guests are tricky. So we've already had that conversation with a few people, and it's too tricky for us here because of border control.
At the moment.
And so we can't really get people in. But that's, so
When
that kind of one will have to be a little bit down the track when they ease up the requirements.
Well, we'll come. We'll come.
Oh, you come. That would be grouse. You come. Yeah. We need some, some guests, some good guests.
Yeah. So are you in Adelaide? Where are you? I can't remember where you are.
No, so I'm in Victoria. So I'm in a city called Geelong, which is about an hour out of Melbourne.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I grew up in Melbourne, and then so this is like a sort of coastal town. So there's bay and surf and, all kinds of things. And I moved down here about 8 years ago or so from Melbourne. And absolutely love it. So like the city itself here is maybe kind of 300,000 people or something. It's just like a big country town, sort of, compared to Melbourne. Do you know what I mean? Which is nice. Yeah.
I've been to stayed on Phillip Island, where all the penguins are. That's where we stayed.
Yeah, Phillip Island's beautiful.
Yeah, but as a kid, we went when I was a baby till I was about 5, but in Canberra. So,
Canberra. It's not even not even a thing.
Government.
I did actually live in Canberra for about a year. That was so random. But anyway, so Phillip Island is like the other side of the bay from me. So actually I'm right on the bay. Like my house, the bay is at the end of my street. And Phillip Island is the other side of the bay.
Okay.
And I can see it over there. Yeah.
Really? Really? So we're coming.
Well, there you go. Come. There's a ferry that goes over there. So there you go. You can catch the ferry and go over.
Oh, that's our next aim then, Sarah, yeah?
There you go. Think about October. End of October. Don't tell anyone, because we haven't told anyone yet.
All right. Okay.
Might have to take out the bag.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
We'll definitely love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So what else do we need to tell people, or are we going to talk about today? What do you think, Sarah? What else do we need to know from Michelle?
I think just the story was the best part, because I think that's what people resonate with, that you can have a crazy, it must have been a crazy idea. There must have been somebody who said, that's crazy, Michelle. You can't just launch a
You know what? I actually didn't discuss it with a single person. I didn't run it past anyone. I didn't anything. I just went,
Love that.
I think this is a good idea, and I'm going to do it.
Good for you.
Because I think sometimes, like I said, I try very hard to ignore what other people are doing and what other people are saying, and I really try to stay in my own lane so that I'm not influenced by anything. I think I still, to this date, I probably have never watched a YouTube video. I just don't watch what's going on. I keep an idea because I'm friendly with people. So I have an idea, obviously, my finger on the pulse a little bit, but in terms of that kind of thing, I've really learned to try to trust
your
my
instinct.
own instincts. Yeah.
It can be very
Yeah.
distracting. You're looking at what everybody else is doing, and you feel like a bit of an imposter. Oh, that's such
I
a
think you'd wind up in a corner, just rocking in a corner somewhere, because I do, because
We
there's
talk about
so much going on. I think it'd be, if you are looking around, I think you'd be so intimidated that you would never do anything. Because
Paralyzed. Yeah, and it wastes a lot.
paralyzing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we talk
yeah,
about actually a lot about the impact of social media, and Kate and I have talked about it before, so she can
Mm,
she sees something different than I see quite often. She sees
mm,
that people are struggling, or that there's um, that sort of imposter syndrome going on, whereas it must be, it's just what you focus on, I suppose. And because I use it a lot for business and not quite so much for or for work, not for, I don't know. I
mm,
don't see it as often as Kate saw it. She would point it out and I'd think, oh God, look, it does actually look like there was that negative side to it, which I didn't really acknowledge.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm softer and more emotional, and Sarah's just the hard bit.
no, it's not that
Yeah.
it's not that I'm hard. It's just that I was using it.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
I just think I was
Yeah.
using it in a different way. I was just using it, it was
Mm,
just a tool, and I wasn't
mm,
looking at maybe, the personal side of
mm.
that.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're very good at. I mean, so whereas some people, they might get a nasty comment on social media and think that's absolutely devastating, take it really personally. Sarah would just think that's funny.
That's hilarious. I got called.
Oh, well, I'm a bit like Sarah then, because I think whatever.
Made a
I
t-shirt.
could care less.
I got called a furniture murderer. Right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That is funny.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So we put it on a t-shirt. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. That's absolutely true. I remember, I've told this story before, but I remember the first video of mine that ever went viral. So the first one, I think it went to 1.5 million views or something. And I remember looking at the comments up to about sort of 500,000 views. It was just sort of all lovely and nice. And oh my God, I love that so much, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it must have hit some group who decided that I was like a murderer of MCM furniture, and it was disgusting and deplorable, whatever I had done to this thing. And I reckon, honestly, the next million views were of those people, and all the comments were about how disgusting it was, and it was gross, and it was blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I remember honestly just reading the comments and laughing my face off,
Yeah.
and the whole time just thinking, well, the joke's on you, because this has gone to 1.5 million views, and that's great for my page and whatever.
You know
And
what I would have done? I would have put some money on it and stuck it in an ad and said, "Thank you very much."
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I thought, oh, I was just laughing. Like, they were coming up these, people like with it, the throwing up emoji, and I'd be like laughing my head off, going, I quite like it actually. I
Yeah.
actually rejigged that video not very long ago, which is like a year after the fact, and put it up again. Just to, I don't know, for my own amusement, I think.
But it is get a reaction, whether it's good or bad. You've had a reaction, like you've had an
Correct.
impact. Otherwise, you could
Correct.
just, if no one saw it, like it could be the
I
best.
Yeah.
think maybe not everyone's equipped to deal with it though. That is what Kate points out to me, whereas I
Mm.
probably wouldn't have seen it. Is that some people that really take that to heart? I've got a membership group where I teach people social media, and the answer is block and delete. Don't even read it. Delete it, block it, that's it, and move on with your day.
Totally.
You've got the time.
Block and delete.
Well,
Yeah.
Don't.
And even things that are, like you say about negative things that go on, and there are negative things that go on in this industry, and particularly, sometimes they play out on social media, etc. And I just for my own well-being, I think, or my own headspace, I just choose not to involve myself. So I've found, like, I'll just unfollow. I unfollow things. Not
Yeah.
even just things that even just are remotely negative. Like, I just don't need to know about it. I just unfollow. And off I go in my own little land, just pretending everything's good.
The good. Maybe this is something we could perhaps discuss at the event, Sarah. Is as a topic, how keep yourself on track and not be distracted by all this negative
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
It's important. The mental health.
It's so important because the social media, particularly in this industry, is enormous. Like
Yeah.
that element of the business is huge. If you don't know how to navigate it, or if you're going to involve yourself so much that, one little comment is sending you over the edge and you feel like, you're not going to be liked, this whole thing about being liked, like it's huge. It's like a high school in,
Feels like
microscopic, it is a bit like that. So
yeah.
you have to just take a step back and go, no, I've got other things to do. Thank you. I can't be bothered.
True.
Mm.
Yeah. I think there's lots of the creatives in our industry, everybody has mental health issues, but I think maybe a lot of people found this creativity is a really good outlet for them. So maybe we have people with issues and other I don't know, but it just does seem to be like that. But you can.
I think what I found was difficult was what Kate had to point out to me, because I couldn't see it, was that it wasn't so much the negative comments, because we sort of know, and people deal with that. It was seeing other people succeed that she was saying was affecting other people. And obviously that was so that was foreign. That was, I had to really, really try my head around that. So it was that part of the Instagram.
I think there's a reason for that though too. I think that people think, because the pressure's on, I suppose we can look at it like this, like the pressure is on for you to succeed, for example. You don't know what's going on for that person, but let's say, they really want to succeed and all this kind of stuff is going on, and then they see other people succeeding, or I think the notion is perhaps that someone else's success is going to detract from your potential success. I think that's something that is maybe exclusive to women perhaps, and something that we're taught from when we're quite young. I think that to compete against each other in, a fairly, I'm going to get into other topics now, but in a fairly misogynistic world, I think that you are taught to compete against each other. And so I think that it's very difficult to be in an industry that is primarily women and really genuinely be able to embrace other people that are succeeding when you are so desperate to succeed yourself. So I think that's hard for some people, but I can tell you, as I'm sure you can also, that in fact, if you want to succeed, they're precisely the people you should be around, are people who are succeeding, they're the people you want to be around.
Yeah.
So
and everybody in the industry, but you need them as your inspiration, not to intimidate. Yeah, for
absolutely.
sure.
And that's why, take what you can and ignore the rest. Like I said, you can't be, so focused on other people that you're in a corner, as you say, paralyzed, because there's, oh my God, it's too intimidating. You can't do that. Just take what you want and then focus on yourself. Stay in your own lane. That's it. Focus on yourself.
Really important.
And it depends where you're coming from. It depends what your background is, what your life experience is. I suppose it's different for everybody. I grew up in a house full of women and strong women, so I never looked at women as competition, like I can imagine you might if you had a different upbringing. My mum was, my mum's a strong woman and she brought up 5 strong girls. So I mean, it was never. I was always gonna, got a ton of sisters. So of course, as we grew up, I just wanted some more. I was like, come on, then. So I wanted to always get everybody together. Whereas I suppose if that's not your experience, it would be a different outlook.
Yeah. And that kind of inclusive or being like including people in your gang or not, you know what I mean?
Oh,
that's
huge.
We hate that. There's nothing worse than excluding people. Yeah.
Correct. And I think, that does happen in this industry too. So, I think it would be probably naive to say that does not happen, because it does happen. And and again, I just think it's something you can't be concerned with. It's like, I don't think that those people intend it any more than you intend to, react the way that you're going to react. But that's the unintentional consequence sometimes. That the appearance of, you know, the little gang of people who belong, and therefore everybody else does not belong. It's that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Yeah,
you know, you have to
I think meeting people in real life breaks that down.
Yes.
So
oh, totally. I'm so spewing, I can't come.
I know
It would be so nice. But I
that's
absolutely agree with you, because that meeting people,
yeah,
and when you do get to go, oh, you're just a person, you're just a person, and you're just a person, and you're
yeah,
not just someone who's a business owner, or, you know, someone who's been wanting to do things, for example, and looking at you two putting this amazing thing together, and like, who knows who's sitting out there being intimidated by you two at the moment? You know what I mean? You don't
oh, yeah.
know.
We do tell everybody all the time, I've got no clue what we're doing. We are literally winging it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love that.
People don't believe you. I'm telling you, they won't believe you.
Yeah. Whatever problem crops up, we're like, oh, what do we do about this? And you find
Exactly.
out, work a way out how to fix that thing. And we just yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And it's so nice to know that everybody's like that. Everybody.
of course
Yeah.
they
I'm
are.
like that. Everybody's like that.
But that's
So
really what we're hoping to teach everybody, you know, or that everybody at least takes away from it, was that we didn't know how to run an event. Never, you know, I've never even got married. So I've never even run a wedding.
yeah. Yeah.
So I just think I really wanted everybody to get together for that reason, because in person, all those barriers break down, and the
Yeah.
connection, the opportunities that arise from that, it's just,
Yeah.
you can't even explain them.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
I'll
mean.
definitely be coming to the next one. I'll be making sure I don't plan any stupid Bali trips until my 60th at least, which is, you know, another decade. So
Yeah. We'll work out. We'll try and actually, when we're there, work out a date for next year, and we'll
yes.
move slightly, so it's not
You
because
should try and work around my birthday so
Yeah.
that it doesn't
So
interfere.
we'll work.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what time is it in Australia now? It's what, 9
It
o'clock?
is 8:01 p.m. on
Okay.
Sunday night. Mm.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's just different. My head in with that behind. When I talk to my sister, she's 13 hours ahead, and I just couldn't get my head around you're 9 hours behind. No, you're 30. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just know we're ahead of the rest of the world always.
That's
And
true.
I know
Yes.
people find that quite weird, you know, to go,
No.
it's tomorrow always where we are. It's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
They say you can't time travel. You never go.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It is possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Possible.
So maybe we'll have to stream you in live or something at the event, Sarah. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, either that, or I'll do some, you know, 2-minute boring introduction to go, hi, I'm Michelle from
Yeah.
Michelle at the start of the thing that Nick's going to do, the demonstration.
Yes.
And
Cool.
yeah,
That'd be
I'll
really
be
good.
watching it. I'm hoping I'll be able to watch it.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we can
someone.
Yeah.
stream.
Did you notice how Kate said, we'll have to live stream you in, won't we, Sarah?
Yeah. I did
She's
notice that.
a delegator, that one.
Yeah.
No,
That's why she's successful. There's an
Yes.
art
It's so
in
funny.
delegating.
So she said to me the other day, oh, Sarah, we've got to do something, whatever it was, right? So I said to her, because we've got this group chat, and she often goes in there and she just says, we have to email blah, blah, blah. This has to be done. We've got to do this and we've got to pay that, right? And just leave the group. And so I'm assuming, so she's expecting somebody else to do that. And it's only me and her in it. So when she tells me, oh, Sarah, don't forget we've got to do X, Y, Z, I said, do you know what to do, Kate? Put it in the group and delegate it to someone.
But I do a lot of boring admin. I mean, that with the bedrooms and the meals and all that, that is boring. It changes, get it all sorted. Everyone's in their room, they're next door to that person. It gets really complicated, and then someone will break their ankle and need to be on the ground floor, which means you then have to like get that person out of that room and put. Oh my god! So I do other admin type things, but Sarah's just really good at it. I can do it. Take me an hour.
You're so good at this. I can see as soon as you start saying, but Sarah's really good at
so
doing
compliments me. It just means she can overload the work.
I think that is a skill right there. You got
Yeah,
some skills.
except I'm aware that it's happening, so I'll just allow her to do it because it's
Mm,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny.
I know what you're saying.
but there you go.
Oh,
Ah,
that's so exciting. I can't wait until everybody's together, and I'm really gutted that you can't come. It's,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm really gutted too. I'm really gutted too. I would have definitely tried, and I honestly was going to try, and I did. I looked into it a little bit, um, but it was more that I would have to leave before my kids, which was kind of fine. But they're on a different flight than the rest of the family, and all the family's over there, so there's no one to pick them up from the
oh,
airport here. And I thought, oh, that's all too much. Like I can't even. It's
Put them
too
in an
much. So,
orphanage. Yeah, yeah,
hey.
yeah. Put them in an orphanage for the weekend. No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
I could have done. I could have done that. Or I
Someone
could
has
have brought them over with me. No,
to. Yes.
I'm gonna
not
bring.
doing
I'm
that.
bringing Lily. Lily's gonna come and help. Well, Stevie and Lily, both of my girls, and
Mm.
Kate's hoping that Emma's gonna come back from Mexico, where she's at the moment, to help. I'm not sure.
Surely, I'm hoping she'd have run out of money by then, Sarah, and she'll have to come back. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
she can come the weekend because they
If
were
they
like,
weren't so expensive, these little people. It's like they're adults. I love, the airline industry where an adult is considered anyone from like 10. Do you know what I mean? So suddenly you have to pay adult tickets for, these people who are, 10 or whatever they are. Like it's stupid. So whatever suits their purpose,
Yep.
adult is 18 or 10, anywhere sort of in between.
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, next time.
anyway.
I'm
Next
just.
Okay.
time. I will definitely be at the
Yeah.
next one.
Okay. Well,
Definitely.
the dates past you first to make sure that it
Yes,
works.
thank you. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
It
Or
was
I'll,
really
I'll get
inconsiderate of us.
Sarah. Don't forget to run the dates past Michelle next time.
Stick
Yeah,
that in
thank you.
delegate
Please
it.
make a note.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We already penciled in. We were looking at next year's, what we've got on the calendar for next year, and we actually already penciled it in for September to go. Okay. So we don't even know. It could be a big flop for us this year, but we're still coming next year.
It will not.
We'll still come.
It will not.
Yeah.
It will be
We could
amazing.
be out of business. Who knows? Whoever knows what happened. Don't
Just
know.
keep that. Oh,
Yeah.
it's been really lovely to talk to you. You're definitely on our wavelength. That's for sure.
It has been very, very nice. It would have been very nice to come, yeah, and hang out
Yeah.
with everyone.
Mm,
Oh,
And there's people, you've been talking to for years, like, Solly Joe, like far out,
yeah, yeah,
I've been
yeah,
talking to her for, 2 or 3 years or whatever.
yeah.
And you talk to everyone over video and you feel like you're friends, but
yeah.
actually you've never met, you've never
Yeah.
met these people.
And also as well, I
So,
thought it was why is Solly Joe bringing set up this group chat with supposedly
mm,
her
yeah,
telling her to bed like that. That is amazing, isn't it?
That's
yeah,
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
mm,
it's all about.
And she
yeah.
is pretty cool, let's be honest.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. I think she's very good at that chatting to everyone, though. I don't think she exhausts of talking to people.
No,
So, and that's a good skill to have in this industry.
yeah.
She was very yeah, and that's nice, isn't it? You can just go up and talk to her with a glass of wine on one of the evenings, or
Yeah,
You know, but
totally. She'll be in bed with her husband smoking a cigarette with a glass of wine. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Chat, whatever.
But
It's not-
those connections that we've got online, even if it is on video, and like you said, you feel like you know them, you feel like you're friends. The good thing about meeting everybody is it feels like a continuation of that friendship.
Oh,
yeah,
totally,
connection
totally.
is not just imagining it. The
Mm,
connection is, but you it's
yeah,
validated person. You're like, I knew I'd
yeah,
like you.
yeah. And
Yeah,
even, over here, for example, so like I said, we did so I think a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, just online started becoming very friendly with Joyetta from Joyetta Queen of Colour and Jane from Plain Jane Paints, who's coming out with her paint this week. And then when I did the masterclass a couple of years ago, I invited them over and to come. And I already felt like we were friends, and they came and I couldn't believe it was the first time we're meeting. And I think we've only actually met in person maybe 2 other times, maybe, because we had COVID and stuff, so 2 other times. But we know we've got a group chat and we chat all day, every single day. And I think, isn't it funny? Like, here's these people who
Yeah.
you've only actually met 2 or 3 times in your whole life, but you feel like you're such good friends that, they're the people you all day, every day, blah, 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 And,
That's
I
that.
don't know.
What we're hoping for people to take, meet people at the event and get their own little tribe together. See, when we went that first fusion event that me, Serena and Sandy, we were competitors. We're 4 competitors. We were 4 at fusion, and we're still like the best of friends. So
Yeah.
we're not the competition. There's enough room for everybody. But yeah, it was
Oh,
interesting.
totally. I mean, Jane's pulling out her own paint. I've got a paint. Hello. Like, I'll still be your friend though. I'll still.
On this live that she's bringing out a new paint this week.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
There you go. I've just broken it to the international audience for her. She should send me some money for that. Yeah.
We should let you go, really. I've got some bacon waiting for me downstairs, and I'm going to go.
I'm sure I've got some TV show to relax in front of for a Sunday night. And
Sunday.
Yeah.
Or you could do some of Solly's IBM. If not.
Yes, yes. I might message her actually. Say how to. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
We're so grateful that you're on board, and we can't wait to see Nick and all of your products. And I'm really excited to see your paint as well. So that'll be, I'm sure everybody else is. So it's going to be amazing.
We will meet you in person one day, not so long.
Absolutely will do. If not at the end of October when you come over for my event. You never know.
Never know.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
That's right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.